The afternoon sun, usually a welcome guest in Maple Creek Estates, felt heavy, almost oppressive, as 12-year-old Mia Harrison carefully pushed another stake into the soft earth of her front lawn. Attached to it was a vibrant, hand-painted sign depicting a slightly lopsided bumblebee buzzing over a purple flower. "Save the bees," it proclaimed in bright yellow letters. Her twin brother, Leo, knelt beside her, adjusting a similar sign featuring a honeycomb pattern. "Think that straight?" he asked, squinting. Mia stepped back, tilting her head. "Looks good. Chloe and Ben should be here soon with theirs." Their project for the school's annual science fair was ambitious, an awareness campaign about pollinator decline. They'd spent weeks researching, designing, and painting. The lawn was their canvas, a temporary gallery meant to educate and inspire. Their parents, Sarah and Mark, had been supportive, appreciating the kids' passion, even if the resulting explosion of neon greens, sunny yellows, and electric blues wasn't exactly conforming to the muted earth tones preferred by the Maple Creek Homeowners Association. The gentle thud of Mia's mallet was abruptly overshadowed by a sharp, clipped voice. "And what is this supposed to be?" Both twins startled, turning to see Donna Whitlock standing on the sidewalk, hands planted firmly on her hips. Donna was the president of the HOA, a woman whose perfectly coiffed blonde hair seemed as rigid as her interpretation of the neighborhood covenants, conditions, and restrictions. Her face, usually set in a mask of strained pleasantness, was currently pinched with disapproval. She wore her unofficial uniform, crisp beige capris, a navy polo shirt embroidered with the HOA logo, and sensible white sneakers that seemed perpetually ready to stomp out any infraction. Some neighbors, usually after a few drinks at summer barbecues they knew Donna wouldn't attend, referred to her, sotto voce, as Karen. "It's for our school project, Mrs. Whitlock," Mia explained politely, though her stomach tightened. Interactions with Donna Whitlock rarely ended well. "A school project?" Donna's eyes swept over the signs, lingering on a particularly bright pink flower Leo had painted. "This isn't art. It's visual pollution. It lowers the aesthetic value of the entire street." "They're just temporary," Leo chimed in, standing up. "For the science fair next week. Temporary or not, they violate Section 4, Subsection B, Paragraph 7 of the HOA Guidelines regarding lawn ornamentation," Donna recited, her voice gaining an edge of authority. "All decorations must be approved by the Architectural Review Committee. These things are unapproved, and frankly quite tacky." "But it's for school," Mia repeated, feeling a flush of frustration. "We're trying to help the environment." "You can help the environment without making the neighborhood look like a carnival sideshow," Donna snapped. "These signs need to come down. Immediately." Mia glanced at Leo. They'd worked so hard. Their friends, Chloe and Ben, were bringing 2 more signs. Taking them down now felt like admitting defeat, like saying their project didn't matter. "My mom said it was okay," Mia said, her voice smaller now. Donna's lips thinned into a hard line. "Your mother doesn't make the rules, young lady. The HOA does. And as president, I enforce them. These signs are a clear violation. Remove them now, or there will be consequences." She gave the signs one last disdainful look before turning sharply on her heel and marching back towards her own immaculate, decoration-free lawn 2 houses down. The twins watched her go, the bright afternoon suddenly feeling less cheerful. "What do we do?" Leo asked, kicking lightly at the base of his sign. "I don't know," Mia sighed. "Let's wait for Mom and Dad to get home." But a knot of anxiety remained. Donna Whitlock wasn't known for letting things go. Later that evening, Sarah and Mark Harrison stood on their lawn, looking at the signs under the glow of the porch light. They'd listened patiently as Mia and Leo recounted the encounter with Donna. "She really called them visual pollution?" Mark asked, rubbing his temples. He'd had a long day at the office, and HOA drama was the last thing he wanted to deal with. "And tacky," Leo added indignantly. "We worked hard on these." Sarah sighed. She believed in letting the kids pursue their passions, and the bee project was important. But she also knew Donna Whitlock. Their neighbor thrived on control, wielding the HOA rulebook like a weapon. Technically, Sarah admitted reluctantly, she might have a point about needing approval for lawn decorations. "The rules are ridiculously strict. But it's a kid's school project," Sarah, Mark countered. "For 1 week. Is she really going to fine us over this?" "With Donna?" "Absolutely," Sarah said. Remember the incident with the Garcias welcome mat? She claimed the font wasn't harmonious with the neighborhood aesthetic. That was insane, Mark muttered. Maybe we should just take them down tonight, Mia suggested nervously, remembering the hard look in Mrs. Whitlock's eyes. I don't want to get you guys in trouble. No, Sarah said, her resolve hardening. No, this is unreasonable. It's a temporary school project promoting a good cause. Donna is overstepping. We'll leave them up. If she sends a formal notice, we'll address it then. Maybe we can talk to the rest of the board. Mark nodded in agreement. Right. We're not letting Donna bully the kids over some paint and cardboard. They stay up. Reassured, Mia and Leo felt a surge of relief, mixed with a sliver of defiance. Their signs would stay. The next morning, a crisp white envelope was taped conspicuously to the Harrisons' front door. Inside was an official HOA violation notice, citing the specific rule Donna had mentioned and imposing a $50 fine, doubling daily until the offending items were removed. $50? Mark exclaimed over breakfast, reading the notice. She's serious. I told you, Sarah said grimly, pouring coffee. This is how she operates. Intimidation. So what now? Leo asked, pushing his cereal around in the bowl. Now, Sarah said, taking a determined sip of coffee. I call a few other board members. Frank Adelman on Elm Street has had his run-ins with Donna. Maybe he'll see reason. Sarah spent the morning making calls. Frank Adelman was sympathetic but wary. Donna controls the agenda, Sarah, he'd said apologetically. She gets worked up, and frankly, most of us just try to stay out of her way. It's easier. Another board member didn't answer, and the third flatly sided with Donna, stating that rules were rules, regardless of context. Frustrated, Sarah reported back to Mark during his lunch break. It's no use. They're either scared of her or agree with her brand of suburban tyranny. So we pay the fine? Mark asked, sounding defeated. No, Sarah insisted. We don't pay the fine. We don't take the signs down. It's wrong. We'll appeal it at the next meeting if we have to. That afternoon, as Mia and Leo walked home from school, they saw Donna Whitlock standing by her perfectly manicured rose bushes, pruning shears in hand, watching them. She didn't wave or smile. She just watched, her expression unreadable but radiating disapproval. It sent a shiver down Mia's spine. Chloe and Ben arrived shortly after, depositing their own bee-themed signs on the growing collection. Wow, they look great all together, Chloe exclaimed, admiring their handiwork. Ben, quieter than his sister, nodded agreement. Mrs. Whitlock already came by, Leo told them glumly. She hates them. Gave Mom and Dad a fine. Seriously? Chloe's eyes widened. Over signs. She's crazy, Ben muttered, adjusting his glasses. Mom and Dad said we can leave them up, Mia added, trying to sound brave. But she looked really mad earlier. They decided to work inside, setting up their presentation board in the garage where they'd have more space. The garage door was open to let in the afternoon light, the sounds of their chatter and laughter spilling out onto the driveway. They were deep in discussion about the difference between honeybees and bumblebees when a shadow fell across the entrance. It was Donna Whitlock. She wasn't wearing her usual polo shirt. Instead, she had on a slightly stained gardening apron over a floral blouse. Her hair was slightly mussed, and her eyes had a strange, intense gleam. She wasn't holding pruning shears anymore. Her hands were empty, clenched at her sides. I thought I made myself clear, Donna said, her voice dangerously low. Those signs. Come. Down. Now. The four children froze, startled by her sudden appearance and her tone. Our parents said they could stay, Mia said, trying to keep her voice steady, though her heart was starting to pound. Your parents are not here, Donna stated flatly. And their judgment is clearly impaired if they think this eyesore, is acceptable. She took a step into the garage. The kids instinctively shuffled back. You should go, Mrs. Whitlock, Leo said, trying to sound older than 12. You're not supposed to be in our garage. A flicker of something, annoyance? Rage? Crossed Donna's face. I am the president of this homeowners association. I have a right to ensure compliance with our community standards. Your parents are negligent, and you children are defiant. She took another step, deeper into the garage now. The air crackled with tension. We're just working on our project, Chloe whispered, edging closer to Ben. Your project is over, Donna declared. Until those signs are gone. She reached behind her, grabbed the handle of the heavy garage door, and with a grunt of effort, began to pull it down. "Hey!" Leo shouted. "What are you doing?" The door rumbled down its tracks, the sunlight shrinking to a narrow band, then disappearing entirely as the heavy panel thudded shut, plunging the garage into dimness lit only by a single bare bulb overhead. A metallic click echoed as Donna slid the manual lock on the inside. The four children stared at the closed door, then at Donna Whitlock, whose silhouette was outlined against the faint light filtering under the door. Her breathing was heavy. "You will stay in here," Donna announced, her voice echoing slightly in the enclosed space. "All of you. Until you learn respect. Until you understand that rules must be obeyed. When I see those signs gone from the lawn, I will let you out." Panic, cold and sharp, pierced through Mia's shock. "You can't do this. Let us out." She banged on the door. "Stop that noise," Donna commanded, turning towards them. Her face was shadowed, but her eyes seemed to bore into them. "You brought this on yourselves. Disobedience has consequences." Leo grabbed Mia's arm. "Don't make her matter." Ben was trembling slightly, and Chloe looked like she was about to cry. The garage suddenly felt small, suffocating. The smell of gasoline and old paint hung in the air. Tools lined one wall, casting long, distorted shadows. Donna stood near the door, a self-appointed jailer. "Someone needs to teach you children about order, about respecting property values, about what it means to live in a civilized community." Mia's mind raced. Her parents weren't due home for hours. Their cell phones were in their backpacks, near the workbench at the back of the garage. Donna was between them and the backpacks. And even if they got their phones, who would they call? Donna was right there. But then, an idea sparked. Her phone. It was in her pocket. She always kept it there. Her hand slid down, fingers closing around the smooth, cool case. She didn't dare take it out, but maybe she could do something else. Keeping her movements small, hidden by her body, Mia fumbled with the side buttons. She knew the shortcut sequence. 3 quick presses to activate the emergency SOS feature, which included starting a live video stream to her emergency contacts. One of those contacts was Chloe's older brother, Alex, a tech-savvy high schooler who had helped Mia set it up after she'd read a scary article online. Would it work? Would the signal even get out from inside the garage? Her thumb pressed 3 times. She felt the familiar vibration buzz against her leg. Nothing happened immediately. Donna was pacing near the door now, muttering about entitled parents and lack of discipline. Mia held her breath, trying to appear calm, terrified Donna would notice the faint vibration or guess what she'd done. She risked a quick glance at Chloe, trying to convey a message with her eyes. Chloe looked terrified, but she gave a tiny, almost imperceptible nod. She must have remembered the SOS feature too. Meanwhile, miles away, Alex Miller was sprawled on his bed, headphones on, scrolling through social media on his laptop. A notification popped up on his screen, an emergency alert from Mia Harrison, including a link to a live video feed. He frowned, confused. "Mia? An emergency?" He clicked the link. The video was shaky, dark, angled strangely upwards from what looked like pocket level. He could hear voices, his sister Chloe's, sounding scared, Leo Harrison's, and a sharp, angry woman's voice he didn't recognize. Then he heard Mia's hushed whisper, barely audible. "Mrs. Whitlock locked us in the garage, won't let us out, the signs." Alex sat bolt upright, ripping off his headphones. Locked in, he listened intently. The angry woman's voice was clearer now. "Until that trash is off the lawn, you'll stay here and think about what you've done. This wasn't a prank. This was real." His sister was in there. He knew Mrs. Whitlock by reputation, the neighborhood's resident tyrant. But locking kids in a garage? His mind raced. Call 911. Yes, definitely. But the video? People needed to see this. This woman needed to be exposed. With trembling fingers, Alex opened his streaming software. He configured it quickly, capturing Mia's live feed. He created a new Facebook live stream on his own profile, titling it, "Urgent. HOA President holding kids hostage in Maple Creek Estates." Live feed from inside. He added the address, tagged local news outlets he could think of, and hit go live. Then, he dialed 911. "My name is Alex Miller," he said, trying to keep his voice calm. "I have a live video feed showing Donna Whitlock. Yes, the HOA president. She has locked my sister Chloe, Mia, and Leo Harrison And my brother Ben in the Harrison's garage at 12 Maple Drive. She's not letting them out. You need to get there now. Inside the garage, the air grew thicker, hotter. Ben had started crying silently, tears tracing paths through the grime on his cheeks. Leo kept trying to reason with Donna through the door panel, his voice cracking. Mrs. Whitlock, please. This is crazy. Just let us out. Silence. Donna barked back, rattling the door handle. The only way out is to comply. Get rid of the signs. We can't. Mia cried out, forgetting her secrecy for a moment. We're locked in here. Donna just laughed, a harsh, grating sound. Then you'd better hope your parents have the sense to remove them when they get home. You'll be waiting here until they do. Mia felt a renewed wave of terror, but also a flicker of hope. The phone was still vibrating intermittently against her leg. The live stream was active. Was anyone watching? Did Alex get the alert? On Facebook, Alex's mirrored stream was exploding. Viewers surged from a handful to hundreds, then thousands. The title was inflammatory, shocking. People clicked, watched the shaky, dark footage, listened to the muffled, terrified voices of children and the sharp, unreasonable demands of the woman holding them captive. The comments section scrolled at lightning speed. OMG, is this real? Someone call the cops. 12 Maple Drive. That's Donna Whitlock. I live down the street, she's insane. Kidnapping. This is kidnapping. SWAT needs to go now. Sharing this. Needs to go viral. I just called 911 in their county. Operator said they've received dozens of calls already. Keep the stream live, kid, whoever you are. Alex watched the viewer count climb. 10K, 50K, 100K. Local news affiliates started sharing the link. National bloggers picked it up. He fielded frantic messages, updated the stream description with confirmations that police were en route. He felt sick with worry for Chloe and Ben, but also grimly satisfied. Donna Whitlock's reign of petty tyranny was being broadcast live to the world. The distant wail of sirens began to filter into the garage. Donna heard it first. She froze, her head cocked. What's that? The kids exchanged hopeful glances. The sirens grew louder, closer. Multiple sirens. Donna's face, illuminated briefly as she peered through a crack near the door frame, turned pale. Police? Why are the police here? She turned back towards the children, her eyes wide with confusion and dawning fear. What did you do? We didn't do anything. Leo retorted. You locked us in. Red and blue lights began to strobe, painting flashes of color across the garage walls through the gaps around the door. A voice, amplified by a megaphone, boomed from outside. Donna Whitlock. This is the Maple Creek Police Department. Come out with your hands up. Donna stumbled back from the door, breathing raggedly. No. This is a misunderstanding. It's just neighborhood business. HOA matters. Open the door, Donna. The megaphone voice commanded, closer now. Let the children out. They wouldn't take down the signs. Donna shrieked back, her voice laced with hysteria. They were violating the rules. Aesthetic standards. Property values. Inside, Mia kept her phone aimed outwards, capturing Donna's unraveling. The livestream viewer count hit 200,000. People were watching, live, as an HOA dispute escalated into a potential hostage crisis. Outside, Sergeant Miller of the Maple Creek PD coordinated his officers. Initial reports confirmed 4 children locked in the garage by the homeowner's neighbor, the HOA president. The 911 dispatch center was overloaded with calls referencing a live Facebook feed showing the situation from inside. This wasn't just a neighbor dispute anymore. Given the refusal to release the children and the perpetrator's agitated state, SWAT was authorized. Mark and Sarah Harrison arrived simultaneously, alerted by frantic neighbors and Alex's messages. They sprinted towards the police cordon, faces etched with terror. Our kids are in there. Sarah screamed, grabbing an officer's arm. Mia, Leo, ma'am, we need you to stay back, the officer said gently but firmly. SWAT is handling it. Your children's safety is our top priority. The SWAT team, clad in tactical gear, had taken up positions around the garage. The negotiator continued trying to reason with Donna, but her responses were increasingly incoherent, rambling about bylaws and visual harmony. Final warning, Donna, the megaphone blared. Open the door now, or we will breach. Inside the garage, Donna backed further away from the door, bumping into a lawnmower. She looked wildly around, as if seeking an escape route where none existed. The kids huddled together near the back wall, watching her, terrified but also sensing that rescue was imminent. Mia kept the phone steady. There was a loud metallic clang, followed by a splintering crash as the SWAT team used a ram to breach the side service door of the garage. Officers poured in, weapons raised, flashlights cutting through the dimness. "Police, show me your hands. Get down," Donna shrieked, throwing her hands up, stumbling backwards over a pile of recycling bins and landing hard on the concrete floor. "Kids, over here. Come to us," an officer called gently. Mia, Leo, Chloe, and Ben scrambled towards the lights, towards the figures in uniform. Hands guided them quickly out of the breached door, into the blinding sunlight and the noise of the waiting crowd and emergency vehicles. Mia barely registered the paramedics, checking them over before she was enveloped in her mother's desperate hug, Mark's arms wrapping around them both. "Oh, thank God. Thank God you're okay," Sarah sobbed, clinging to them. Chloe and Ben were similarly swept up by their own frantic parents who had arrived moments before. Through her tears, Mia looked back towards the garage. She saw two officers pulling Donna Whitlock to her feet, handcuffing her hands behind her back. Donna's face was streaked with tears and dirt, her hair askew, her expression one of utter disbelief and terror. As they led her towards a waiting police car, the crowd of neighbors erupted in a mixture of gasps, angry shouts, and nervous applause. Mia saw a neighbor holding up a phone, clearly recording. Her own live stream, mirrored by Alex, was still broadcasting Donna's downfall to hundreds of thousands of viewers. The immediate aftermath was a blur of flashing lights, urgent questions, and overwhelming relief. Paramedics checked the children thoroughly, finding them physically unharmed but shaken and dehydrated. Mia, Leo, Chloe, and Ben gave preliminary statements to sympathetic police officers, recounting how Donna had confronted them, ordered them into the garage, locked the door, and refused to let them out over the placement of their school project signs. Mia explained how she'd activated the SOS livestream, and officers confirmed they were aware of the footage, which was already being logged as crucial evidence. Sarah and Mark held their children close, the adrenaline slowly receding, leaving behind a bone-deep exhaustion and simmering anger. Seeing Donna Whitlock, their neighbor, the woman who'd nitpicked about lawn height and recycling bins, being led away in handcuffs for kidnapping their children felt surreal, horrifying. The bright, colorful bee signs on the lawn seemed almost insignificant now, yet they were the catalyst for this nightmare. News crews had arrived, cameras rolling, microphones extended, adding another layer of chaos to the scene. Neighbors gathered in clusters on lawns and sidewalks, speaking in hushed, shocked tones. Some recounted their own minor but unsettling encounters with Donna, realizing now how her obsession with control had escalated to a dangerous level. Frank Adelman, the hesitant HOA board member Sarah had called earlier, looked pale and guilt-ridden. Alex Miller became an accidental hero, interviewed by police and reporters about his role in mirroring Mia's stream and alerting authorities. His quick thinking had undoubtedly ensured a swift response and provided undeniable proof of Donna's actions. The Facebook Live feed, which eventually peaked at over 250,000 concurrent viewers before Alex stopped it following the rescue, had already been downloaded and saved countless times, becoming viral evidence of the HOA Karen who took kids hostage. The Maple Creek Police Department held a brief press conference later that evening. The police chief confirmed that Donna Whitlock, 58, had been arrested and charged with 4 counts of felony kidnapping, 4 counts of false imprisonment, and 4 counts of child endangerment. He emphasized the severity of the charges, stating that holding children against their will, regardless of the initial dispute, was a serious crime with significant consequences. He praised Mia's courage and quick thinking in activating the live stream and Alex's responsible actions in alerting authorities and managing the feed. Bail for Donna was expected to be denied given the nature of the offenses and the flight risk. The HOA board convened an emergency virtual meeting that night. The remaining members, shaken and facing intense public scrutiny, voted unanimously to immediately remove Donna Whitlock as president and revoke her membership privileges pending the outcome of the legal case. An interim president was appointed, tasked with navigating the media storm and reassuring horrified residents. The first order of business was issuing a formal apology to the Harrison family and suspending enforcement of the aesthetic guidelines that Donna had so ruthlessly weaponized. In the days that followed, life in Maple Creek Estates began to find a new, tentative normal, forever changed by the events of that afternoon. The Harrisons focused on helping Mia and Leo process the trauma. There were therapist appointments, long talks, and extra hugs. The children were resilient, buoyed by the outpouring of support from friends, classmates, and even strangers who had seen the news. Their Save the Bees project, ironically, gained widespread positive attention. The school principal commended their bravery, and a local environmental group offered to showcase their signs at an upcoming event. The colorful posters remained on the lawn, no longer symbols of defiance, but of survival and the unexpected consequences of standing up, however unintentionally, to unchecked authority. The legal proceedings against Donna Whitlock moved forward swiftly. The evidence was overwhelming. The testimony of the 4 children, the corroborating statements from parents and neighbors, Donna's own incriminating words caught on the police negotiators' recordings, and, most damningly, the viral livestream footage captured from Mia's phone. Donna's attempts to portray the incident as a misunderstanding, a disciplinary action gone slightly awry, were flatly contradicted by the sheer terror evident in the children's voices and her own explicit threats captured on video. Her defense attorney struggled to mount a credible case. Arguments about stress or diminished capacity due to her zealous commitment to HOA duties fell flat against the gravity of felony kidnapping charges. The prosecution painted a picture of a woman whose obsession with control and power, fueled by a sense of entitlement, led her to commit horrific acts against vulnerable children over something as trivial as lawn signs. The trial was brief. Donna, looking diminished and frail in court, listened impassively as the evidence mounted against her. The children testified bravely, recounting their fear inside the locked garage. Alex described receiving the alert and watching the events unfold live. SWAT officers detailed the tactical response and Donna's resistance. When the livestream footage was played in the courtroom, a stunned silence fell. Seeing the events unfold so vividly, the dark garage, the children's fear, Donna's unhinged pronouncements, left no room for doubt. The jury returned guilty verdicts on all counts: kidnapping, false imprisonment, child endangerment. During sentencing, the judge spoke sternly about the abuse of authority and the terror inflicted upon the young victims. He cited Donna's lack of remorse and the dangerous escalation from petty neighborhood disputes to serious criminal acts. Donna Whitlock was sentenced to a significant term in state prison, ensuring she would be removed from the community she claimed to protect for many years. Beyond the prison sentence, the financial repercussions were severe. The Harrison family, along with the parents of Chloe and Ben, filed civil lawsuits against Donna seeking damages for emotional distress and trauma. Given the clear evidence and criminal conviction, the judgments were substantial. To satisfy the court-ordered damages and hefty legal fines, Donna's assets were targeted. Her meticulously maintained house in Maple Creek Estates, the symbol of the aesthetic purity she had fought so fiercely to uphold, was eventually seized and sold. Her savings and retirement accounts were depleted. Donna Whitlock, stripped of her power, her reputation, her freedom, and her financial security, was left with nothing but the consequences of her own actions. Maple Creek Estates slowly healed. The HOA, under new, more reasonable leadership, revised its bylaws, introducing clauses that emphasized community well-being and conflict resolution over punitive enforcement of trivial rules. Neighbors made a conscious effort to be more connected, more supportive, realizing how easily isolation and unchecked power could fester. The Harrison family, though forever marked by the ordeal, found strength in their community and immense pride in their children's resilience. Mia and Leo continued to advocate for causes they believed in, their voices stronger now, their colorful signs eventually replaced by a small, permanent pollinator garden in their front yard, a symbol of growth, healing, and the enduring importance of saving the bees, planted with the full, enthusiastic approval of the reformed HOA. The memory of the HOA Karen served as a stark reminder of the darkness that could hide behind perfectly manicured lawns, but also of the light that could emerge when a community chose compassion and courage over control.